Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. I hope you're having a good one. So, got up this morning about 4 a.m., started doing research, and came across a few articles that I found to be interesting. Mostly positive stuff. Um, Coinbase. Coinbase is looking to get a lot more institutional investment. How? They're offering more to their futures trading. Toncoin, Tau, and TRB are going to be offered in futures trading. That's a big nod to those coins. And I'm going to call out Toncoin, especially since Toncoin is in the top 10. So I'm just saying that's bigger than what most people think. And we'll get into the numbers a little bit later, but doesn't that just sound good? Doesn't that just look good? I mean, right now we're experiencing in this industry a level of adoption and integration that has never been seen before. I mean, we're hitting a point where we could easily see crypto go normal. I know that sounds like a big word, sounds weird, but what I mean is just commonplace. Everybody knows about it. They might not understand it, but everybody knows about it. And a lot more people are interested in getting educated in it. So if you have a chance, check out my book on Amazon, Crypto Foundations for Building Multi-Generational Wealth. Anyway, what else is going on? So Bitcoin, we saw some fluctuation this week, mostly going up, which is good. We came back down a little bit, about 63,000, something like that. But that's not what I'm worried about. That's not what I'm worried about. I'm worried about the miners, and here's why. Miners need to be able to make money, and one of the ways they can make money is by creating a revenue stream via AI and high performance computing, HPC. Well, Iris Energy rather, dropped 15% because they think that their current facilities do not lend themselves to those other purposes. Yikes, that hurts. I know that hurts. So I don't know what their response is going to be, but to drop 15% because of suitability concerns, yeah. So we'll be watching Iris Energy. Now, I'll tell you something though. I don't know if that's a buy opportunity on the other side, like invest in them directly. So we'd have to look into that. Like, do you have confidence in that company? We'll see. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse was giving a talk the other day and was like, yeah, we could delay the IPO. You know what I mean? And I'm like, internally, they know what the date is. Out here, we don't really know what the date is for the IPO. No clues, right? And that's okay. We don't know everything. It's all right. But what I am thinking is that it'll be a very strategic move because in that same talk, he was also talking about Swift as a competitor. And he was also talking about share buybacks. Now, they could announce something like that where they'll delay the IPO, but they've already been making moves to streamline operations, streamline investments. Anything extraneous, they're ditching it, right? Ditch MoneyGram. They're ditching a lot. They're ditching a lot. So I'm sitting back and I'm just kind of going, yeah, maybe they're just thinking they need more time to prep, but they're getting their house in order to actually do that. What I do like is that they do recognize that Swift is a competitor, but they knew that already. Swift was already existing, so there's nothing new to that. What I didn't hear was the combination of Swift and Chainlink being a competitor. What I didn't hear is any mention of Chainlink's new features, right? And I'm kind of like, yeah, that's pretty peculiar. To me, it is, right? Because for me, it's everything that Chainlink is doing right now, settlements, tokenization. That's all stuff that Ripple wanted to get involved in, and they still can. Don't get me wrong, they absolutely still can. But that competition in that space is heating up big time, big time. And what I'm afraid of is that, I mean, obviously they'll still be successful, they'll still be able to do things, but the level of competition that exists now did not exist years ago. Thank you, SEC. So I'm just looking at that whole thing play out, and I'm kind of like, oh, that's interesting. That's very interesting, right? Then I started looking at the Ethereum ETFs. There were going to be 8, and everybody started coming out with what their prices would be. And Grayscale know they made a faux pas. They know they messed up. So with their Grayscale mini Ethereum ETF, they're saying, well, we'll lower the price to like 0.15%. And I'm like, yeah, all right, but what kind of thought process is that? Originally announced at 2.5% for the Ethereum Trust, right? I mean, the Ethereum ETF. And what they did was they came back and said, "Oh yeah, that wasn't a good idea. Maybe what we'll do is we will." And I don't know if it was done on purpose, so they can come out with the following news. But now they're saying, "Oh well, we'll have a fee waiver for up to $2 billion or 6 months, whichever is achieved sooner." Okay. So it'll take care of certain institutional investors up to a certain amount of money. And for the little guy, 6 months of no fees. Okay, cool. But then the fees kick in. Are those fees still 2.15? I don't know. So I'm looking at Grayscale, I'm kind of giving them the side eye. Right? Because it just seems like they act first, think afterward. And it's like, yeah, that's not going to make you successful. That's absolutely not going to make you successful. Nobody wants to be interested in something like that. So that troubles me about Grayscale. I've been hearing some theories, rumors, all that kind of stuff about Grayscale and why they're leaving their prices so high and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't deal in rumor stuff like that. Theories, maybe, as long as they're not like these moonshot theories, right? But I'm kind of like, yeah, no, I just think that they just don't think. I think they think that they're still at the top of the game and everybody's going to come rushing to them. And that straight up just is not the case. There's too much competition. And frankly, I think the larger competitors are doing a better job. And I think the smaller competitors are too. Grayscale needs, an overhaul in what they're doing monetarily. Seriously. Or somebody buy them out and put them out of their misery, because they don't know what they're doing over there. I mean, why would you come out 10 times higher with a price 10 times higher than the nearest competitor? That's just dumb. I mean, the other competitors, most likely, these are introductory prices, and then they'll raise them later. Because you can always raise your price later, right? In this case, you can always raise your price later. In other cases, it's the exact opposite. But I'm just kind of like, yeah, why? So I don't understand how Grayscale operates. I think Grayscale is operating from a losing position, frankly. BlackRock, as big as they are, I don't know if it's me, but I just think that they're just so nimble for the size organization and the amount of assets under management. I just think that they're incredibly nimble, like incredibly nimble. So I'm paying attention to that as well. 21Shares launches, now talk about nimble. 21Shares launches Injective Staking, an Injective Staking ETP. Why did they do it? They want to facilitate institutional investment. That's why all these people are doing this stuff. All these companies, Coinbase, 21Shares, there are a few others. Yeah, this is why they're doing it. The idea is, I told you yesterday that, ETFs and ETPs have specific, things that they're supposed to do. So if they don't announce them at the beginning, they can't do it. So if you don't have exposure to, crypto at the beginning, you have to buy into another ETF or ETP that does, in order for you to have that exposure. So by offering staking and these kinds of things, futures, that's what you're doing. You're opening up the door to others getting involved. Slick. very, very slick. You know, I think that's not even slick. I think it's smart, right? I actually think that's smart. That's a very smart thing to do. Something else that's coming to mind. I'm just sitting back and I'm thinking about, you know, all of the projects that are out there. Project Guardian, you know, just, you know, Franklin Templeton doing, you know, testing out settlements, Polygon and Stellar. Just saying. I'm also thinking about, you know, something else that comes to mind is Polygon's switch over from Matic to Pole, right? Coming in September. Now, Coinbase has not supported any of that. They haven't supported, excuse me, they didn't support, you know, Fetch, you know, Singularity and Ocean merging. They didn't do that one. They didn't do Gala when Gala moved from V1 to V2. They just don't seem to want to support that kind of stuff. And I'm like, I don't get it. I don't understand. They're basically telling their people, well, you know, we're not doing that work. You want it, you have to go do it yourself, which is bridging. Bridging is maneuvering one coin to another coin. There's an interoperability bridge. Usually it costs a little bit less than selling and buying and trading, all that kind of stuff. So, but here's the thing. I think Polygon has given that thought. They've actually got a Polygon bridge, the Polygon portal, and it's in beta right now. And I think once that's done, that'll be released and it'll make it way easier for people to bridge their tokens from Ethereum Polygon or Matic to, you know, Polygon's version. So because there are two different flavors, right? There's Polygon's Matic, and then there's Ethereum Matic, and you'd have to bridge the two. So I think they're going to be offering those services. I took a little dive into their website, and I was like, oh, these guys might not be worried about it. Because one of the biggest problems is, you know, when you use a bridge, people are, I mean, I just told you about how bridges just got hacked and exploited just over the past week. And they're saying, yeah, no, we're going to solve that problem. We don't necessarily have faith in others. So what they're saying is you'd be able to bridge between Ethereum Polygon, Matic, Ethereum's Matic, Polygon's Matic, and Polygon's ZK-EVM. You'd be able to flip that switch right quick. And I'm like, that's pretty dope. Because most of us are probably going to have to do it manually. So if that's what they're going to release before that big deal happens, before that, you know, that big move from Matic to Polygon happens, you know, for Polygon 2.0, I'm going to have like tons of faith in Polygon, because Polygon, I believe, is a part of the connective tissue in the Web3 space. Right? To me, they're just like Chainlink. They're just a part of that core that exists right now that really bridges between everything Web3. And when I look at that, I sit there and I just go, if they release their own bridge, that's going to be the smartest thing in the world, because nobody else has. And here's the kicker. What that would mean is, hey, you don't have to go anyplace else. We can handle all of this in-house. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Imagine if that's the message. Because I'll wait for that. Yeah, I got a bag of Polygon. So I'd wait for that. Not a problem. I will absolutely wait for that. I'm all in. So Polygon, do your thing. Absolutely do your thing. But you know what we should do? That's right. We should get into the numbers. Let me hide my notes. I'll just put them away. All right. So fear and greed index right now is at 60. Last week we were as low as 25. So to be at 60, which is, you know, in the greed space, that's not bad. DeFi Llama is still under $100 billion in total value locked. So we're paying attention to that. We should continue to pay attention to that. And the reason why is because total value locked I use that as an identifier of faith within the space, right? So I see it coming back. Look right here. You can see it starting to come back heavy. So I think we should be above 100 billion, you know, within the next couple of weeks. That's my safety zone, is above 100 billion. So we'll see how that works out. Actually, we should include these in staking. And then if you include those in staking, then you're above governance tokens, I guess, but I don't think that's going to move the needle all too much, and it doesn't. So in actuality, we are above 100 million, but 100 billion rather. But remember, included in that TVL number is going to be staking, which makes sense because total value locked. If you're staking, that makes sense. Pool 2 includes stakes of IP tokens where one of the coins in the pair is the governance token, and that's why you have the governance token as well. Makes sense, right? Makes sense to include both of those. That's what my normal map looks like. So we're at 104 billion if you include all that. So still, I'd like you to be higher, right? My real, I mean, look at where we were previously. We were, very much higher, 116 billion. So, I mean, we're far off from the 200 and change that we were at before, but this is where I want to be right now, right? So we'll see what happens. Bitcoin itself, we're playing around. We've been dipping into my blue band. Again, my blue band starts at 57,686, goes up to 63,719, right? And we've been playing around in that space. Right now, we're at $64,000. $64,035. Again, for me to feel confident, truly confident, we need to obtain 69,355 and maintain above that mark for a period of time, consolidate there, and then shoot past our current all-time high, which is 73,750. That's how I think it's going to play out. Next week could be that catalyst that gives you a big bump, because that's the whole Bitcoin conference. So we can get a big bump out of that. Just remember that big bump that I'm expecting is going to drop immediately thereafter. I don't think it's going to be a huge drop, but it will still drop. We also have the Ethereum ETFs next week. So you get that double punch. So I'm expecting things to shoot. And when they shoot, I will be taking profit. So I'll be sitting down looking at finances tonight and thinking about where I want to put my money to see how much, where is, the highest gainer for me, right? I mean, and I'll show you what I mean. Let's go to right here. So this is, as you know, this is my test workbook. This is what we're getting ready to put out to everybody. We've got test data in here. But the top 25, let me actually do this, refresh the data. Okay, so we have refresh data. And let's just pick one out that I actually like. Solana, there you go. So Solana, ranked number 5. It's at 162. That's great. It's seen a 3% increase. Less than 5%, I don't really pay attention. But then you start to pay attention to, well, what's its all-time high? 259. 259.96, so almost $260. It's 38% off its all-time high. It's X factor, meaning what's that X? 2X, 1X, whatever. It's at 0.6X to reach its all-time high, right? So 0.6 times 215, times the current price. In addition to that'll get you to your point. And I'm kind of like, it's not horrible. It's not bad. Then you look down and you kind of go, well, who else is here that I would pay attention to? Here's Bonk. They're at 0.66. Siacoin, I know some people that have it. That's a lot to be off. 95%. I don't know why you still have it, but if you do, you're 95% off your all-time high. You have a 17x right there. But then you have to kick in with doing your own research to understand, well, what is my rating for them achieving that goal, right? And the X factor that I'm talking about is only your all-time high X factor. It's not a look at how much I think I can gain beyond your all-time high. This is just for you to get back to your all-time high. So let's look at the top 25 losers. Well, top 25 losers, let's see who we're paying attention to. Sats, which is ordinals, 2.43x. To get back to its all-time high. It's 71% down from its all-time high. This is what I mean. This is what I pay attention to. Somebody was telling me about Turbo. Turbo's 1.26x from its all-time high. Not bad. You can make money there. So if you're in it and you think you can achieve that this group can achieve that, then there's your thing. Somebody was talking about Aerodrome. I think it was Dan, 1.5x, 1.45x, sorry. So I'm kind of like, yeah, you know, if that's what you like, I mean, it doesn't, I have nothing against them. It just doesn't fit into I don't have a slot for it. You know what I mean? I have slots that I open and close for opportunities because I like to keep myself within a certain range of coins, right? A certain number of coins. So I have my active investment coins, and then sometimes I'll create a space because I totally sell off that coin or I stop investing in that coin. And I keep the bag, but I stop investing. So these are things that I'm paying attention to. Just saying. What else is there? That's about it. I mean, we have, if you want to look at the big picture, what are some opportunities that you have? I think everything right here is an opportunity. You want to know why? Because almost none of them are at an all-time high. I don't think any of them are at an all-time high. Yeah, Toncoin's not at an all-time high. So nobody's there, which means to me, this is nothing but upside potential. That's what I pay attention to. If you want to look at it from the numbers perspective, let's go to my watch list. And there you go. So, you know, from a numbers perspective, things are taking a beating. Solana's up 60.45%, but you can see the year-to-dates are not looking bad on some of the more popular coins. Toncoin at 216, okay. In the past 24 hours, coins aren't moving so much. Solana's up 2.53, you know, Bitcoin's down just a little bit. But again, if it's not 5%, it's normal fluctuation to me, you know, in the crypto space. In the crypto space, that's my rule. In stock space, that's not my rule. For 7 days, Dogecoin moved 12%. That's big, up 33% for the year. Amazing. But, you know, you look down and, you know, there's Shiba Inu. 66% for the year to date. And I'm like, yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. They've got a lot of stuff going on, and I think they're going to do well. I really do. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. I hope you have a good one. I hope you enjoy what I'm doing. If you do, hit the likes, subscribe, and tune in tonight, 8 p.m. for Friday Flips, where we have really in-depth and hopping conversations all about crypto. Sometimes we sneak in a few other things, you know, because we do invest in other things. So tune in. Hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.